Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another real weather forecast. Now, Halloween's approaching, and got lots of tricks and treats happening in our weather forecast. Now, to start off, we had a very intense hurricane down in the eastern Pacific by Mexico. I think it's called by Acapulco. It went from a tropical storm to a Cat 5 in under 12 hours. That was Hurricane Otis. Now, that was historical because none of the models caught on to it. No weatherman mentioned Cat 5. Like it was pretty bad situation for them. And it's definitely going to change a lot of research on why the models didn't do that and what happened. Similar to Andrew down in South Florida a while ago. Now, what's going on out there right now? Well, right now, still have Tammy out here turning from Bermuda. Right now, it's at 50 miles per hour, and remember when the models had a huge split going to one from west, some going east. Looks like it took the eastern route, and it'll just linger out there and just die out. So nothing too worrisome for Tammy anymore. And but Tammy is bringing some swells to the east coast. So we do have a high surf advisory, rip current statement, and plus we do have a strong east wind still in effect. So of course swells adding on to those winds can definitely bring some big breakers along the coast. So be careful if you're going to the beach. And if you look out satellite right now, you can see very dry, and it'll stay like that all day today. Not much raining around, very dry conditions, all up in the atmosphere. Too much dry air, as you can tell by these very so cumulus, like very low cumulus clouds out in the Atlantic, which indicate dry air. You can see very low top cumulus clouds. Excuse me. Now, as you can see, when they come in along the coast, pretty much kind of just fizzle out. But of course, daytime heating will come in. It'll be partly cloudy conditions all day today. It'll be a very nice day today. Looking at the models. Now, high pressure is still in control with us, keeping those winds brisk and breezy. And it will continue to do so for the weekend. But things start to change once we get into Halloween, even the day right after, as another front looks to approach the area. Now, Halloween forecast looks good. Not really seeing much rain with this front. It looks very dry. It's a very dry front. So, Halloween night looks good for trick or treating. And the cooler temps might arrive if you're more in the North Florida area, but other than that, it'll be kind of warm for the night. And I'll look at the model here showing what the temperature is going to look like. You can see here is the evening of Halloween. It's the nighttime, so yeah, if you're up here, it's pretty chilly up in Panhandle area, but most of the state 60s and the 70s, so it'll be relatively warm, but the humidity will drop a little bit, so it'll be nice and dry for all the trick-or-treaters. And once Halloween passes, big drop in temps, mostly up here in the Panhandle and west coast of Florida. Some 38s up there. That's chilly. And that is definitely cold enough in the mountains. They could see like a slight chance of some dusting of snow up there, Smoky Mountains. But for Florida, mostly the northwest side of Florida. And if you notice along the coast here, you see how it's like big temperature gradient, 53 degrees in like up by Ocala. But if you head toward the Daytona Beach area, jumps up to 60s. Now, that's because most likely that's due to the fact that there's probably northeast to east winds. So of course when those winds coming in from the ocean, The waters out here are still fairly warm, especially the Gulf Streams right here. So the wind blows across that Gulf Stream. It's bringing in warmer, moisture air. So right along the coast, you get that warmer air. But then as that air goes across the cooling ground, it cools off, and of course, much chillier over here. Same with the Euro. Oh, the Euro doesn't even go out that far. Let's see, go back. There we go. Same with the Euro. Still, but it shows even a little cooler temperatures along the coast, but there's still a really slight gradient. So yeah, so I would expect the low 60s, maybe some up to 50s. The night that's actually the night after Halloween, and it warms back up. And with the moisture staying pretty dry all weekend, and that's because the high pressure system's still in place, blocking pretty much any rain that's trying to come over here, unfortunately. Now there might be some, sprinkles, some rainfall down the Keys, as the ridge is mostly built in central Florida. But that front does break the ridge away, but unfortunately there's not much rain with it. But that's good though, because that's during Halloween. The front looks like it's gonna be right about North Florida about Halloween night, and then maybe a couple showers overnight of Halloween. But other than that, it looks very dry, and the winds will pick up. Northeast winds looks like we're beginning. That's why the temperatures across the coast are going to be slightly warmer. Now back to Tammy. See if I can find what I want to show. Oh, not Tammy, sorry. Back to the hurricane. Yeah, we do have another little system down here. Now, model has been all over the place with this system. Some show development, like the GFS a couple days ago, had a full-on fledged hurricane coming in Florida. That's a GFS, always does that. It likes to just make random storms, especially 2 weeks in advance. Now it doesn't show anything. But this area low pressure system looks like it'll slowly move up and then get caught up in here as that front comes across. Now, the models are not too big on it. As we look here, now here's it right now. It's right here. Let's look at the 500 millibar. Now here's 500 millibars up in the atmosphere. This shows the vorticity, like the structure, how much spin. So you see this right here? That's Tammy. This is what we're looking for. And there's also another broad area of low pressure right here, which is what you see in the model. This gets just swept away. So here, okay, so here is that low pressure down here. Now the Euro does have it kind of like moving here and kind of gets trapped up in the Keys, but not really. It kind of just dies away. Maybe that's due to the fact. And let's look at the GFS. Yeah, same deal. Kind of just gets all just caught up. There's a huge mess down here. Too much going on. And then that trough, and the cold front comes in, and takes it away. Now, the water is definitely warm enough down there. Like the Western Atlantic. So yeah, very warm down there. So definitely not a big problem. Very warm. You can see along Florida, we got some really cold shelf waters here because of the cold fronts we've been having in those northerly winds. And then the Gulf Stream. But like if we say in theory, storm to develop here, takes the track here. Now the waters are too cold for development here, so I would not expect the hurricanes to keep forming and forming and strengthening all the way toward the coast. But if it moves fast enough, it wouldn't even matter because waters are much warm across most of the Gulf, except for right along the coast. So water's definitely warm enough. Okay, so that's one clue. What about the winds up above? Is there wind shear? So there's a wind change as we go up. So we'll go back, Western Atlantic. We'll look up in the atmosphere. Here is 200 to 850 millibar wind shear. So here's a GFS. So right now, got a big old high pressure out here. So if you, now this is more favorable, so the white, maybe some light blues is okay. But like you want this, you want to see this for tropical development. Now right now there's a big old upper level trough digging in, all due to that big sagging cold front from previous times that Tammy got absorbed in. But as we head into time, there's a big old anticyclone in the atmosphere that kind of gets situated over here, and it gets much more favorable. But if you look over here, lots of wind shear due to that trough. So I do maybe see some slow development here, but once it gets over here, sure to part. So we'll see what happens, and thank you for watching.